And the valuation also is very interesting. I think it's a $5 billion company right now. It was probably what, a $30 billion company when it was 25 something dollars, and now it's at like $6. Can you speak a little bit on how you feel about the price right now? Do you think that run up to 25, 35 was just because of 2021, or kind of how are you thinking about stock?
You know what? I don't know, dude. I bought in. I started buying in at like $14, and it went all the way to 21, and then it just continued to go down. And I ended up just selling my whole position and waiting to get back in. I don't know. The catalysts are kind of, I don't think anybody knows what SoFi is. You know, everybody still thinks it's a student loan company, which is further from the truth. Like it has nothing, like SoFi like hasn't been profiting off of student loans in such a long time. And they're growing year over year. It's just, people don't know what it is. And I don't think people are going to know for a long time, because like, look at it now, look at analysts now. It's hard to know what AWS is now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like people don't, like, you speak to it and you tell them what it does, but they won't get it actually. It takes a lot of like starting your own business and actually dealing with them one-on-one to actually know like what AWS and like what the value is in that. And I think SoFi right now, they're unproven and they're very secretive about like this software platform that they're building for other banks, because it's new. Anthony Noto says fully by around 2025, they should be completely on their own core. And that's the core I was talking about, that like software core where everything can talk to each other and they can like provide like really weird data models on just like their users. Like that's could be really cool. But
you would argue it is objectively undervalued right now.
Oh yeah, sorry, I got carried away. But yeah, I think for sure, worst case scenario, SoFi is easy a triple bagger. Best case scenario, I have no idea, dude. This is like, I think of like, try to imagine what the internet would be in 1999 in 20 years, and it's, you would be wrong every time. You know what I mean?
Right. I also feel there is a healthy cult around the stock in terms of a loyal sort of retail base that is not just going to sell if it goes up 100%, right? Because they actually see the potential of this kind of stuff.
Yeah. But then again, I really think not a lot of people understand the biggest part of the company, which is this back-end software part. Most people just look at the forward-facing app and say like, oh wow, like they still don't have options. Yeah. And so yeah, I don't know, but
the actual app itself, do you think do you think they're a competitor of Robinhood? Do you think they care about that, or that's just something they offer in terms of
I hate Robinhood. And one of the things I absolutely love SoFi is their motto, get your money right. So I think all the best companies that have a good motto and they live up to it are like the ones that change the world. Like if you look at Tesla, like they're very specific about like what their motto is, and they want to say the earth. SoFi's motto is get your money right. And the way that Anthony Noto phrases everything he does at that company is making sure that he builds financial products that help people. So if you look at Robinhood and you buy like an asset or on that app, if you lose 1 cent of value, your entire screen turns red. You know what I mean?
Right.
That is such a horrible way to design an app if you want your users to be successful. It is very well known that the people that hold stocks and do not trade frequently end up far better than the ones that trade frequently and gain all this capital gains tax.
Yep.
So, but like that makes sense, because Robinhood, if you think about Robinhood, the way that they make money is when you trade your stocks. They make money through payment through order flow.
Yes.
So does SoFi, but the way that they're going about it is far different than Robinhood. They could make a lot of money if they incentivize their users to trade frequently, but they're doing the opposite. There's a guy on Reddit named Bender9000, and what he does is every app update, he goes into the string code, and sees if there's anything new. And we've learned 5 months ago, that SoFi is working on something called portfolio investing. And we did a little research, and it looks like it's very similar to M1 Finance, which is you put like 5, 10, 100 stocks of like what you want to invest in. And then when you throw money into the app will automate it like based on percentages. And so it's just kind of like your own personal ETF. And it's a form of long-term investing, software built for long-term investing. So that made me happy, because SoFi could have been going the Robinhood route where they make money off payment through order flow, but instead they're going through a way that makes it harder. I think it's going to be an option. Like, it's not going to be like you have to use it, but it's going to be an option for you to be like, hey, if you want to like focus on long term, we got you. We got this product for you. That's another reason why I love this company, is because they put their money where their mouth is. Another reason is like everything that they do is focused on super long term. So like in 2019 or 2018, I'm not sure, when they stopped being a student loan company and started becoming this banking company, they launched 6 ETFs. Just to start off, like, launching an ETF is expensive. If you look it up on Google, it's like, just to start off, it's at least $100,000 to start.
Now, I was talking to Tad Park, who's the managing director of Volt Equity. It costs him $2 million a year to manage his ETFs. Like, it's a lot.
That's insane. Like, and they started 6. Why? Why would they start 6 ETFs after just being a student loan company? That goes to show you that they're completely different from what what people actually think of them.
And in the context of Robinhood, also Robinhood only makes money off payment for order flow. That's not SoFi's, I'm assuming, only revenue stream, which means they don't need to do the psychological incentivization to keep
exactly
part of their thing. Yeah.
100%. And to be honest, like, their main profit engine in the future will hope what Anthony Noda wants it to be is to be that the banking software platform, so that they can have kind of like a Costco model where they make money off of one thing, or Amazon model. They make money off of AWS and make the Amazon shipping and like retail side like super like customer focused, like give the best products, the best thing possible to the consumer. And that's where like they're aiming. But and there's a ton of other things that they're doing in the banking app, which is like super well thought out and like focused on like the consumer, making it like the best thing for the consumer. Is like, one thing they have is something called Sofi Relay. And at face value, it just seems like a budgeting software like component of SoFi. But they're working on it pretty hard, and it gives you a lot of relevant information that competes with other fintech companies like right off the bat. So SoFi Relay is a budgeting software inside the banking app already. And it baffles me that, like, if you get a Bank America account or a Wells Fargo account or a Chase account, you put your money in those accounts and they don't have bank budgeting software. Like, for SoFi, right out of the box, you put your money in, it tracks it, it tells you how much you're spending each month, and it gives you like a graph. You can plug in your house and your car.
Like a modern era of like budgeting and seeing your finances almost.
Yeah.
It's like a personal finance play.
Exactly. And I have like all my investments, and through all my like stock trading apps, I link them to my SoFi app, and it shows me all of them up and down, what's going on with my my net worth and a lot of stuff. And then it does credit scores. Of course, every other bank does credit scores, but if like your credit score increases, you get SoFi points, and it incentivizes you to raise your credit score. Like, there's all these things that they're doing to like really focus on the consumer and making it better. But imagine like, okay, so let's just take like the platform of budgeting software. We got Mint by like Intuit, which is like by far the best. And then you got YNAB, which is kind of paid service. It's a little bit better than Mint, but it's just like a lot of friction. I would say those.
You have this other company called Nerd Wallets. Have you heard of them?
Yes.
They're just a blog, and they went public. I was like, how does a blog go public? I was like, what is this?
It was good marketing. It was good marketing at the beginning, I think.
Yeah.
But like in the future, YNAB and Mint are budgeting software, but SoFi has already baked it in. So like, they're competing with budgeting. Like, you could be like, okay, you can go to Chase, but then also if you wanted like budget and stuff, you're going to have to get like this budgeting app and this other thing, or you could just go to SoFi, and SoFi will do everything for you.
Right. This is interesting. Their growth in members also has been pretty astronomical, correct? In terms of just getting people to sign up and use one of their products.
Yeah. Yeah. I think they realized that the banking, there's a huge top of funnel thing. Like as long as you can get somebody in there with a direct deposit, they can use those direct deposits to issue loans and a bunch of other stuff. Yeah, they're growing a lot.
I think it's like
think
256% year over year in terms of
it's insane, and I think it's going to grow even more now that like football season started up. But
SoFi Stadium, right?
yeah, it's like it's not going to catch until there's a huge critical mass of people using it. You know, it's like the same thing with Facebook. I remember like when people were using it just in colleges, but then like it started growing, and then there was at this one point where everybody was just joining like so fast.
It's kind of, I mean, it is what happened to Robinhood. Now, Robinhood, I don't think they capitalized it on the right way. But there were certain catalysts where everyone was like, if I'm a first-time investor, Robinhood is my thing. And I think what you're saying is if I want to actually get a bank account, so like the 18-year-olds of today, I went to Bank of America because that's what I knew. But again, as you're saying, it makes so much sense. Bank of America didn't offer me any of this like holistic ecosystem of understanding my finances. It was just a checkings and savings account. And that's it. And I just logged in today on my Bank of America and they like kind of redesigned their software. And I was trying to see like how much income did I make this year? I think I'm pretty decent on the technical side. I could not find where to see like my income statement. I'm like, this is ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. And then like you hit the menu button on all these like brick and mortar banking apps, and it's like it gives you like a list of things that you don't even care about. It's like, what is Watchtower on Wells Fargo? Like that's something I used to have like Wells Fargo, and I clicked, I was like, what's Watchtower? It's like, oh, this allows me to see like my monthly subscriptions. Why do they call it Watchtower? This is so dumb. Like all of this is not like good for the customer, or like it's just they're too big. And that's one of the reasons why these companies are going to fail is Chase Morgan. I keep on saying Chase Morgan. Chase has so many people working for them. And a lot of these people have been working for Chase for over 30 years, and they're all high up there, and they're not going to want to adapt or die. They're just going to fall off. Like, why didn't Walmart become Amazon? Because like they should have been Amazon. You know what I mean? Like in the 90s, they should have adapted. It became Amazon, but it took some guy with an online bookstore to do it. It's just, I just don't see how these banks are going to survive in the future.
Lending is the core business of SoFi currently, correct?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what you think their business is. Like, I know Anthony Noto is making his decisions 20 years into the future. Why did he spend $1.1 billion on Technisys 200 days ago when his stock was already diluted? A lot of investors hated that because they're like, oh, he's diluting us. And it's like, this sounds like a bad idea. But like, he's 100% focused on the AWS side. Lending is going to be an awesome component for SoFi. They're going to make a lot of money from it. But if we're really focused on like what SoFi is right now, like it's not lending, it's the banking software.